Hey YouTube, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about the main event at Las Vegas 103. It is Manel Kape versus Almabayev. Yes, we're giving this pick away for free. If you aren't aware, we give away the main event free every single week. We give away the early prelim fight every single week. And so far, in 2025, I can pull it up here and prove it to you. In 2025, when giving away the main event and the early prelim fight for free, we have hit, we're 10-2, 83%. So I'm giving you picks at 83% for free on the first pick and the last pick. There you go. Okay. Now you don't get all the other analysis for free. You got to be an MVP. I'm not going to show you this week's card. The early prelim fight's already posted. It's posted on YouTube. But here's the main event, and we'll talk about it. If you want to see all the other picks, all you got to do, you can hit join on YouTube, and you'll become an MVP that way. Or you can go to Patreon like everybody else and join the channel, and you'll see all the videos. Yes, they're locked unless you're a paying member. Guys, we do this for UFC. We've been doing it for multiple years now, and we also do it for college football. Yes, I'm the best there is. I'm the best at both. There's nobody better. I'll break it down. I'll tell you who the fighters are. I'll tell you what's going on. By the way, if you want to watch the UFC fights with me, become an MVP, get to the Discord server, join the stage. We only have 300 people that can be there. The seats, get in a seat, 300 people. I sit here, I watch the fights, and I provide live betting analysis, give you advice, tell you what to do, and it's usually really spot on. Shout out to the MVPs. We made a ton of money in the last couple of weeks. I'd pull up the Discord server and show you the winnings, but you should probably just come see them yourself. Shout out to all the MVPs. We're not lying. No, everything's transparent. All results are posted. Come win some money. But let's talk about this fight here, this main event. I'll tell you that this main event is probably one of the hardest ones to pick so far this year. But we'll have to make a decision and live with it, okay? And that's going to be difficult. It is, because I got to show you I can't show you the chart, but I can just talk about it. And then in the final wrap-up video for all the MVPs, they'll see the whole chart and how I recommend we bet this thing. But let's rock with what we got here. So we have Manel Kape versus Almabayev. I'm going to start with Almabayev first. I was going to start with Manel Kape, but let's go with Almabayev. This man is 21-2. He is 31 years old. I think he's in the prime of his fighting life. He's never been subbed. He's been knocked out once. And that knockout is a little alarming. He was knocked out way back in the day over here, 2017, to Tagir Ulanbekov, who's a UFC fighter. But that is Tagir's only knockout in the history of his whole fighting career. So that in itself is a little alarming because you're fighting Manel Kape, who has a really good striking acumen. So I can see where everybody on the internet's going, yo, Almabayev is going to get knocked out. Now listen. People will tell you this is a short notice fight, and technically, it is. There was a fight. There was fights canceled. Almabayev was supposed to be fighting Steve Erceg, and that one got canceled, rebooked, blah 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 blah, a couple times. Okay, but Manel Kape was supposed to be fighting Brandon Royval, and now he's flipping to a different fighter in Almabayev. So who has the advantage here in a short notice fight? Well, some people will tell you the championship fights are 5 rounds of cardio versus a 3-round fight camp and a 5-round championship rounds, all this stuff. Manel Kape's never been a real 5-round guy. Like, anybody talking like this is crazy. He's never fought 5 rounds in his life. So to think that he has the advantage in cardio just because he was scheduled to fight a 5-round fight is absurd. He has no experience fighting a 5-round fight. It was going to be a new thing for him as well. Okay? On the other side, you have Almabayev. He's fought 5 rounds before. He has. And he usually fights 3 rounds because he's not a finisher. No diddy. He's not a finisher. He's the type of guy that we're going to go to the points. So if you think Almabayev's winning this fight, I'd highly recommend you bet him by points. But I understand he's an underdog in the fight and nobody really believes in him. And the reason you don't believe in him is because you're judging him on his last fight. Okay, so let's talk about this. You fight Ode Osborne in your debut. You don't knock him out. You submit him. Manel Kape knocked him out. And then you fight CJ Vergara, somebody who we just saw knocked out the last time he was in the cage. You had to go all 3 rounds with him. But it was unanimous. Then you fight a tall grappler in Jose Johnson. Unanimous. And then you get to this Matthias Nicolau, dude. And you don't do what people expected you to do. Like, you win the fight unanimously. But the odds were insane for this one. It was minus 235. And you see it here. 1 takedown in 15 minutes. 1 takedown in 15 minutes. Not a lot of striking going on. But notice the control time. 5 minutes, guys. And that's important because I want you to understand that once he got the takedown, he earned it and he kept it. And that's how he won a round. Now, a lot of people were underwhelmed by the performance. You said all this guy has is wrestling. And if all he has is wrestling, then why did he outstrike his opponent? If all he has is wrestling and he didn't really get it done, that's alarming. Now, I apologize. I'm under the weather. And I already had to start this video over because I keep coughing. Oh, my God. And I got to get through this. I'm trying to work. I've been in the emergency room twice this week. Sorry. So there's Asu Almabayev. And I want you to think about that Matthias Nicolau guy and how much trouble he gave Asu Almabayev. He fought Manel Kape. And he gave Manel Kape trouble too. So much so that he beat him. He beat Manel Kape recently. It was 2021. And when you look at Manel Kape, the last time we saw Manel Kape in the octagon, he looked like a world beater. He looked amazing. But he was fighting Bruno Silva. And Bruno Silva's an aging fighter. And at 125 pounds, the minute you lose a step, the minute you lose some of your speed, you've lost everything. That's how it happened. So Manel Kape looked world-class in there against Bruno Silva. He's not fighting Bruno Silva this week. He's going to beat the hell out of Bruno Silva every single time. So would Asu Almabayev. He would just ragdoll Bruno Silva. He'd probably submit him. So while I understand everybody's anticipating Manel Kape's going to go out there and he's going to avoid the takedown, be too athletic on the feet, and win the striking exchange. And what it comes down to is, can Asu Almabayev win a round? Can he win 3 rounds? You got to win the majority of the rounds. Can he get a takedown and hold him down? You know, in a 3-round fight, you might do it once and then outstrike your opponent the next round because he's exhausted from all the grappling. In a 5-round fight, every single round starts on your feet. Every single round starts on your feet. So you got to go get that takedown every single time, at least 3 times. And we don't know if you can do that against Manel Kape. We saw it happen with Muhammad Mokaev. Muhammad Mokaev actually wins because he's a wrestler, and he ends up getting his takedowns. Now, I think he shot 8 takedowns, landed 3 of them. You only got to land a few. You only got to land 1 or 2 and hold him down. But it's a matter of getting it done. Now, in that fight against Muhammad Mokaev, the one thing nobody talks about is, yes, he broke his toe. Manel Kape broke his toe. Would he have won the fight without the broken toe? I don't know. I could tell you judges' scorecards had it 30-27. One of them did. So it wasn't a close fight to one judge. It wasn't competitive at all. So all that striking acumen goes out the window, right? This is a guy who's been submitted twice. But when you look at the fighters he's fought, if they have any type of grappling acumen, they find success. You got to close the distance. You got to close the distance and then get a takedown, and that's going to be a tough one. I think this is a coin flip fight. You know, I tell you guys that I give away these fights for free, the main events, and so far we're 5-1 this year. But this particular fight, I think it's a difficult one to pick. And picking versus how you bet are 2 different things. So I pick every fight in the world. I don't bet every fight in the world. I'm going to tell you guys that when I look at the sports book, these odds are broken, bro. Asu Almabayev by points is currently plus 270. You can't ignore that. You just can't. And I understand if you want to take Manel Kape, go for it. By all means, but you're going to have to parlay that because it's a minus 220, or you're going to have to put $220 on him to win 100. However you want to do it, whatever, that's your business. But I'm just telling you that from my perspective, I see a guy, both these guys have a skill set that kind of neutralizes one another. The striker is a lot more, it's prettier. It's a lot more aesthetically pleasing for judges. And remember, judging is subjective, and they love damage, and the crowd's going to ooh and ah anytime he strikes, and the crowd might even boo. Now, there's not going to be much of a crowd in the Apex. Are you going to hear a lot of great sounds from a takedown? Is there going to be a ground and pound, or is it just going to be a smothering? I'm going to tell you this. From my perspective, this sucks. I'm going to take Asu Almabayev. I think it's a smaller octagon. It's less room to run around. If you're Manel Kape, can you run for 25 minutes? Can you run for 25 minutes? Because the minute you get taken down, while you're athletic enough to get up, Asu Almabayev has fought athletic guys. He finds a way to win. And if he's beating guys that beat you, I'm going to do the MMA math, and I'm going to take the money, and I'm going to say Asu Almabayev. And don't ignore that submission by 1,200. I understand if you like Manel Kape, it can't be a lock. It can't. This is a lean all the way. And for me, it's a value bet. I'm doing a value bet. It's purple. You guys know the different colors on the color chart. If you didn't know, green is a lock, black is a lean, purple is a value bet. I'm on a value bet here. I'm taking the underdog, Asu Almabayev. I understand Manel Kape's supposed to go out there and style on him and beat the hell out of him. Everybody looks really good against Bruno Silva. Let's see it again, okay? So let's see what Manel Kape can do against a world-class grappler. So I'm going to rock with Asu Almabayev. I'm in the minority. I'm Rico Knows, and I do this for a living. So let's hope I get it right. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. See you guys on Patreon. Peace.